Welcome, everyone. We are live with another episode of Level Up Law, where every Tuesday at noon, South Carolina Legal Services levels up your legal knowledge about an area of law that we practice in. I'm Susan Engel, Senior Staff Attorney, and I'm here with our producer, Kenneth Elliott, from our IT department in the background, just making sure everything's running properly for us today. And you are viewing live Attorney Jenny Kaufman from our Conway office. Jenny is the head of our public benefits unit here at South Carolina Legal Services, and they're just doing such great work on the public benefits unit. Excellent group of attorneys, and Jenny is with us today to review the Social Security cost of living adjustments and what that means for those of you receiving Social Security benefits. But before that, we do want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, you can see a QR code there on your screen. Please, if you are not receiving our legal services newsletter, scan that QR code and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll start receiving that. Also, we want to remind you, of course, as always, this is not legal advice. This is just general information that we're sharing with the public, but it is important information, so we're glad to get it out there for you. If you need the help of a lawyer on this or some other topic, do call our intake line here at South Carolina Legal Services, or you could actually apply online 24/7. That information is going to be provided for you at the end of today's presentation on the last slide. Also, as a reminder, all of our episodes are posted on YouTube, our YouTube channel, by our producer, Kenneth Elliott, usually within about 24 hours of the live broadcast. So you can go back and look at that and hopefully share it out with people you think it might be helpful to. So for today, if there are any general questions from the audience, Jenny can potentially answer those if time allows. So just put those questions in the question box. And that is all from me. So Jenny, let's get started.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we are in December, came faster than I expected, and the Social Security Administration made an announcement in October about all of the new figures that are coming into play that you need to know about to try your best to avoid having an overpayment of any benefits that you are receiving. It's really important to pay attention to these changes every year because it really does make it easier for you to know ahead of time what you can and cannot do. So anyway, Social Security uses the Consumer Price Index when it makes a decision on what the cost of living allowance or increase is going to be every year. And as we all know, all too painfully, consumer prices have gone up a lot faster than it was expected. And even the cost of eggs, something as small as that, has almost doubled in some places. So you need to pay attention and try to understand that Social Security uses a formula so that there's no discretion involved. And it used to be that there was. They would take their time to announce any kind of increases, and I don't think there's ever been a decrease. So in 2022 and in 2023, the tax rate, that is the payroll tax that you have to pay if you are an employee, is 7.65% of your gross earnings. If you're self-employed, you have to pay your share, the 7.65, and the share that would normally be paid by your employer. And if you add 7.65 to, or you double that, it comes to 15.30. And those are your payroll taxes. Next slide. The maximal taxable earnings for old age survivors and disability insurance is the how do I put this? The maximum amount of money that Social Security or earnings that Social Security will charge payroll taxes for is $160,200. So if you make more, if you're lucky enough to be someone who makes more than $160,200 a year, the money that you earn above that amount is not subject to payroll taxes, that 7.65%, like the initial 160,200 is. Medicare, however, there is no limit. There's no ceiling at all. So you get charged Medicare payroll taxes on all of your earned income. Quarter of coverage, I've talked about quarters of coverage before. You need 4 quarters. Well, you can earn up to 4 quarters a year. Those 4 quarters go towards the 40 quarters that you need to get Social Security benefits and Medicare when you retire. You can earn all of that in a day. You can earn it in, a week, a month, but for 3 months for 3 months, if you earn $1,640, that's 1 quarter of coverage. And you can get up to a maximum of 4 every year. And some people, they get their all 4 quarters in, the first month of the year. And technically, they don't have to work any longer in order to have those quarters credited to their account. And again, you need 40 of these quarters to get Social Security retirement benefits. Survivors and disability are dealt with separately. Next slide. This is an important earnings amount, and this is for anybody who applies for early retirement. And again, the full retirement age now is somewhere between 66 and 67 years of age. For anybody born after 1960, you're going to have your retirement age, full retirement age is 67. For people born between 1954 and 1960, it gradually increases. So, what does that mean for you? If you get early retirement and you continue to work or you go back to work, you cannot earn in 2023 more than $21,240 a year without being subject to a penalty. So if you earn $21,242, two of those dollars are a dollar is going to be withheld from every $2 over the 21,240. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this easily. So you need to pay attention if you're going to be working and earning more than the maximum retirement, early retirement earnings. Most people probably, if they've retired and are starting to pull their early retirement benefits, probably aren't earning more than 21,240 a year. But if you are and you're pulling Social Security, remember that for every $2 in earnings, you're going to lose $1 in Social Security retirement benefits. And again, this is only for early retirement. For full retirement age, like for me, 1954, we retire at age 60. We can retire and start getting full benefits at 66. So if you wait until the first, till the year that you turn 66 or your full retirement age to apply for benefits, the earnings test is a little bit different. There is still an earnings test. So when you earn more than $56,520 or 4,710 and you're in your first year of full retirement, you will see a decrease of $1 for every $3 that you earn. So it's not as bad. It's also a higher cap, but you can still get an overpayment. So you just need to pay attention to that. So the first, can you go back, Susie? All right, beginning, if you wait until the month in which you reach your full retirement age, you no longer have an earnings test. So you can earn as much money as you want after you reach your full retirement age. Even if you retired early, once you reach your retirement age, you will no longer have an earnings test. Next slide. Now, we've talked a couple of times in Level Up Law about the disability thresholds. And the number that makes a difference on whether or not you're going to be entitled to disability benefits is known as substantial gainful activity. And for non-blind individuals in 2023, if you earn more than $1,470 a month, you are not eligible for disability benefits unless you can reduce that number in some manner, such as you have impairment related work expenses. And Social Security doesn't care if it's just a dollar over, it's a dollar over. That means you are above SGA, substantial gainful activity, if you're a non blind individual. If you're blind, it's a higher limit because of the expenses that out of pocket expenses that blind people have, especially regarding transportation, modifications to their home, etc. So they have a different substantial gainful activity level. And in 2023, if you're blind, you can earn 2,400 up to $2,460 before losing your eligibility for disability benefits. That's contrasted with the trial work period. The trial work period is the time when you can test your ability to work. And you can get 9 months of a trial work period, even if you earn more than $1,050 a month. So that is 1 month. If the next month you're under 1,050, that is not a trial work period month. But you can earn 9 months of this trial work period activity level of earnings and still be eligible for your full benefits. After that, you have to look at substantial gainful activity. And if you are earning more than the SGA amount for a blind or a non-blind person, you will not be entitled to any benefits. So individuals who are receiving disability really need to pay attention to their earnings. 9 months of less than $1,050 is not going to be a trial work period month. If you earn more than $1,050, you can count 9 months. And they don't have to be sequential. So just pay attention to those numbers. Most people think that they can work at less than substantial gainful activity levels for a long time, but you have to pay attention to the trial work period, which is what, $1,020. I'm sorry, it's I can't do my math. $420 less than SGA. Sorry about that, Susie. Next slide. Supplemental security income is going up next year to $914 a month for an individual and $1,371 for an SSI couple. An SSI couple is when both individuals, married individuals, are receiving SSI. If one receives SSI and the other doesn't, different rules apply. But if both of you are receiving SSI, you can't, your maximum benefit for the month is $1,371. It is not twice the 914. So just be aware of that. Next slide. The resource limits, again, they have not gone up. There are not COLA increases provided for those limits. The limits have not been changed since sometime in the 1970s. They estimate that if they had been using COLA increases, that the resource limits would be somewhere around $10,000 in 2022 or 2023. But we're still stuck with 2,000 for an individual and 3,000 for a couple. There is a unique set of rules for individuals who are receiving SSI and are students. They can earn up to $2,220 a month, as long as their total annual earnings are less than $8,950. But you have to be a full-time student to get that exclusion. Basically, Social Security lets you work during the summer and earn money and not lose your SSI. Next slide. So this chart shows the estimated average monthly benefits for people on Social Security. For all workers, all retired workers, the average benefit that's paid is $1,827 a month. So they take the 30 million people and they figure out what the average is. And that's not a lot of money to live off of. That's why they strongly encourage you to open up some kind of retirement benefit plan through your work or through an IRA, but because Social Security is not meant to replace all of your earnings. An aged couple, that means somebody over the retirement age, the average benefit for a couple is $2,972 a month. And when one member dies, they don't get to keep the other member's full amount. There's an offset that is done based on who the higher wage earner was. A widowed parent, that should really say, they still use mother, and I didn't catch that, so I apologize. But a widowed parent and 2 children, the average benefit for that family is $3,520. And you have to remember that the children are not entitled to benefits after age 18, with a couple of limited exceptions. One is if the child is disabled prior to age 22, they would be entitled to benefits. Or if they turn 18 and are expected to graduate before they turn age 19. For the aged widower or widow, the average benefit is $1,704. So you look back at that aged couple, their combined benefits on average are $2,972. When one of them dies, the income drops by about $1,200 a month on average. A disabled worker, their spouse, and one or more children, on average, that family is going to have a Social Security benefit in 2023 of $2,616. Now, that's for the worker and their dependents. It could be one or more children, could just be a spouse who qualifies, but the maximum benefit is on average pretty low. Trying to raise a family on $2,616 is really, really difficult. And for all disabled workers who don't have dependents, the average benefit is $1,483. And I think that's really low, considering there are a lot of people who are trying to live off of $1,483 a month and have to pay for their housing, their utilities, and food. It's not a lot of money. So again, going back to having a supplemental benefit from your employer or from your own savings is really necessary to be able to totally keep up with today's inflation. Next slide. So this was meant to be a short talk. I hope that this information and the explanations will be of good use for you, especially in avoiding overpayments. If you have something that you want to hear about, go ahead, Susie. We're at the end. It was
that was great information, and you're right. You know, some topics are shorter than others. This was a great review of what these cost of living adjustments are, and we really appreciate you coming on and explaining all that. I do think there's a lot of misconception out there about how these things work, so we really appreciate you kind of giving us the skinny on what all these various things mean. You know, in a really concise manner. So thanks, Jenny. That was a great presentation. For this QR code, we want our audience to suggest topics for Level Up Law. And this has already been successful in people scanning that QR code, and it sends you to an email, I guess, or some sort of a link where you can give us a topic and let us know if you'd like to speak on the topic or just you want one of our attorneys to talk about it. So anyway, this was a great way for us to really start getting some input from our audience out there. We're always asking for that, but this makes it really easy. You don't have to go comment on our YouTube channel or anything like that. You can scan this code and send us a suggestion. I did want to let everyone know our contact information is right here. And again, that other QR code for signing up for our newsletter, be sure and do that. But we have great intake workers, specialists in our intake office, so you can call that number that's on your screen Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6. And then 24/7, you can apply online for our assistance. And we encourage you to do that as well. Sometimes that's easier for folks who are working during the hours of 9 to 6. So definitely encourage y'all to do that. And of course, we have great resources at Legal Services, just like all these episodes of Level Up Law, but also on our websites, on Law Help. You can find some really great information about various legal topics in South Carolina. And also, here's all of our social media channels, and you can get great notifications and information there as well. And I might point out that I think on the next episode, we'll be sharing our TikTok channel, which is getting some great feedback here now that we started that. So keep an eye out for that. Now, as always, we're going to post a recording of today's episode on our YouTube channel. You just go there and look for the Level Up Law playlist at South Carolina Legal Services. Now, when you go there, be sure and share this video, certainly if you found it helpful and if you think it'll be helpful to others. I'm sure there's lots of folks out here who are wondering about how all this works now that there's been some cost of living adjustments. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and sign up for the notifications, so every time we post something on our YouTube channel, you'll get a notification about what it is and you can come check it out. Okay. I want to thank Attorney Jenny Kaufman, our Public Benefits Unit Head. Jenny, that was a great presentation, very succinct, and all the important points were hit. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Susie.
And thanks to our audience for tuning in, either live or on the recording on our YouTube channel. If you, again, want to give us any suggestions about topics, you can do it with the QR code, or you can just leave a comment with the video on our YouTube channel. We always appreciate comments, and we can get you to the right place for answers to your questions. We do want as many people as possible to get the important information that we're putting out here. So even if you don't need the information, you probably know somebody who does. So be sure to share it out. And also be sure to tune in next week, December 20th, for another episode of Level Up Law on Tuesday at noon. One of our equal justice attorneys is going to be talking about eviction paperwork, right? We've been trying to get as much information as possible out on evictions, and this is an important topic because timing is everything when it comes to facing eviction. And Holly Webster, who is one of several eviction equal justice attorneys that we have, and she's going to be talking about all the different notices that you might get involving an eviction, what the time limits are for those, because they are definitely very short. And she's going to run you through all the different documents that you might be receiving in an eviction case, what they mean, and how long you have to respond to them. So definitely check that out next week. Be sure and go to our Facebook page or any of our social media or our website at sclegal.org and sign up for that episode so that you can get the link and watch it live. Again, I want to thank Jenny Kaufman and thank the audience for tuning in today. That concludes today's Level Up Law webinar. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.